Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. So today in this session we are going to discuss the project that is CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So there is wonderful article in the newspaper that is first post and the title is Balochistan Liberation and Debt Directly Hitting China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Now, is Pakistan's most ambitious project turning into the worst nightmare? The China Pakistan Economic Corridor, once hailed as the key to Pakistan economic revival, now it stands battered by the relentless attacks which mounting debt and growing unrest. Now, the most important thing that on March 11th, 2025, that is the Balochistan Liberation Army hijacked a passenger train that is Jafar Express. Now, that has raised the questions over the Pakistan security, and just days later, another strike is also followed. Now, the question here is, why is Balochistan, a province which is rich in oil, minerals, becoming the epicenter of the resistance? And how has China, the world's second largest economy, found itself in this entangled in a conflict that it can no longer control this region? Now, this story is not just about Pakistan and China. First of all, this story is not just about Pakistan and China. It is about the shadow of a global power rivalry. That is the struggle for resources, the fate of the Belt and Road Initiative, which is a project that left nations questioning whether they signed up for a progress or a debt trap. So stay with us as we are going to uncover the explosive truth behind the Balochistan insurgency and the failing promises of CPEC, and why even China is having second thoughts now. So from covert operations to the billion-dollar deals, this is the story of the world which needs to hear. And get ready, because what you are about to see might just change the way you view the global politics forever. So the first thing here is Balochistan conflict and CPEC issues. अब क्या क्या है conflict और क्या क्या CPEC issues हैं? So let me tell you about the recent attacks. Now the recent attack which occurred on 11th of March 2025, that is that event, or you can say that attack was done by the Balochistan Liberation Army. Now the Balochistan Liberation Army hijacked the Jafar Express train from the Quetta to Peshawar. As you can see here, Quetta to Peshawar, they have hijacked, which leads to a temporary suspension of train services. Now, a few days later, another hijack, or you can say another attack occurred. After a few days, another attack occurred. Now, what is BLA? Balochistan Liberation Army, which is a separatist group fighting against the Pakistani government for their independence. तो ये जो Balochistan Liberation Army है, they are fighting for their independence against the Pakistani government. Now, why Balochistan matters? Now, what is the importance of Balochistan? Now, as you can see here, this Balochistan province. So this Balochistan is Pakistan's largest province, which covers around 43.6% of country's land area. So this is 43.6% Pakistan's land area. That is why this is important. Now this 43.6%, so this Balochistan region covers 43.6% country's land area, and despite having only 14.8 million people, also this region Balochistan is rich in oil as well as minerals. This is rich in oil as well as minerals. However, the Baloch people, they face severe poverty, with a 71.2 poverty rate, 71.2% poverty rate. So many Baloch people, they accuse Pakistan of exploiting their resources without benefiting them. That is why they are against the control of Pakistan as well as Chinese project. Now, what is CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and how is it linked with this issue? So let's talk about CPEC. Now CPEC, as you can see here, starts from Kashgar and ends in Gwadar. Let me tell you, the CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, is a major infrastructure project under China's Belt and Road Initiative. It connects China to the Arabian Sea through Gwadar Port in Balochistan. It starts from Kashgar region of China, then it comes through POK region, then it enters in Pakistan, then Lahore, and then Gwadar Port. And with this, China got an entry in Arabian Sea. So it connects China to the Arabian Sea through the Gwadar Port in Balochistan region. Now, in this project, China has invested over $62 billion to build roads, railways, pipelines, as well as energy projects. So China has invested over $62 billion for this project. And in return, China gets easier access to the Middle East for oil as well as trade. So इससे चाइना को काफी हेल्प मिलेगी मिडिल ईस्ट के साथ ट्रेड करने में, ऑयल के लिए भी, है ना, ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स एंड वेरियस अदर थिंग्स. नाउ this CPEC project has two phases. First phase is building infrastructure like roads and power plants. Second phase is creating industrial zones as well as generating jobs. अब ये चीजें ध्यान में रखिएगा, industrial zones as well as generating jobs in phase 2 project. Now, what are the problems with CPEC? Now, the first important problem with CPEC is debt trap. How debt trap? Now, Pakistan's external debt doubled from $44.35 billion in 2013 to $90.12 billion in 2021. तो पाकिस्तान का डेब्ट तो डबल हो गया है 2013 से 2021 तक. And now, right now, Pakistan is in financial crisis. Now it owes China around $24.7 billion, which is 27.4% of Pakistan's total debt. So Pakistan, right now, Pakistan is struggling to repay these loans, which leads to a concern of debt trap. और पाकिस्तान श्रीलंका से भी कुछ नहीं सीखा. Sri has already faced economic crisis and in debt trap. Now, apart from this, when CPEC says that it is going to generate the jobs, then why it lack benefit for the local peoples? So there are lack of benefits for the locals. So let's try to understand. Now, most CPEC project which involves Chinese companies, they use Chinese labor only. this CPEC प्रोजेक्ट में जो चाइनीज कंपनी इन्वॉल्व है वो चाइना के चाइनीज लेबर ही यूज कर रहे हैं. नाउ फ्यू जॉब्स आर क्रिएटेड फॉर पाकिस्तानी पीपल एंड इवन द स्टील एंड सीमेंट दे यूज्ड आर इंपोर्टेड फ्रॉम चाइना. जो स्टील और सीमेंट भी यूज कर रहे हैं वो भी इन्होंने चाइना से इंपोर्ट किया हुआ है. इसके अलावा देयर आर वेरियस सिक्योरिटी इश्यूज इन दिस CPEC प्रोजेक्ट. अब सिक्योरिटी इश्यूज क्या है? Now, Baloch separatists, they frequently attack Chinese workers as well as engineers to protest in CPEC. अब Baloch people CPEC के खिलाफ है, इसीलिए वो अटैक कर देते हैं Chinese workers, engineers, क्योंकि ऐसा काफी बार हुआ है that Chinese they have taken the Baloch girls as well as they बहुत सारे मिसिंग केसेस आए हैं बलूचिस्तान से, तो वो अब अपना एंगर निकाल रहे हैं. And despite 10,000 Chinese security personnel, Pakistan military protection and violence continues. अभी भी violence जो है वो continue है इस region में. भले ही वहां पे 10,000 Chinese security personnel है and Pakistan ने military protection दिया हुआ है, but still violence is continuing. Now, apart from this, ethnic discrimination is also there. कैसे? अगर हम बात करें CPEC की, So of the 330 CPEC project, only 8 are in Balochistan region. 330 में से 8 are in Balochistan, while 176 are in Punjab region and others. Now, when Nawaz Sharif was there, so Nawaz Sharif prioritized Punjab for project. Nawaz Sharif ने कहा था कि हमें पंजाब को prioritize करना चाहिए project के लिए. While Imran Khan, so Imran Khan tried to shift the focus to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. इन्होंने कहां पर shift किया focus? Khyber Pakhtunkhwa में CPEC का. Now, Baloch people, they see this as further marginalization. वो एक तरीके से कि इससे उनकी जो पोजीशन है और मार्जिनलाइज हो रही है. सो दे सी दिस एज फर्दर मार्जिनलाइजेशन. नाउ व्हाट इज द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ चाइना हियर? नाउ इनिशियली चाइना सॉ दिस प्रोजेक्ट एज ए वे टू रिड्यूस इट्स रिलायंस ऑन स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलाक्का. जी हाँ, चाइना इस प्रोजेक्ट के पीछे इतना क्यों पड़ा था? क्योंकि चाइना ने इस प्रोजेक्ट को एक तरीके से देखा कि इससे हमारी स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलाक्का पे जो डिपेंडेंसी है उसको हम कम कर सकते हैं. क्योंकि ये जो स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलाक्का है, द स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलाक्का, एज यू कैन सी हियर, द स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलाक्का, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रूट फॉर ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स. सो China initially saw this CPEC as a way to reduce its reliance on Strait of Malacca for oil imports by passing routes which is dominated by United States as well as India also. However, there are some logistical issues as well as security threats in Balochistan region which have made CPEC less beneficial for China. अब ये CPEC China के लिए less beneficial हो गया है. That is why China has slowed down its investments, focusing on smaller or you can say quicker return project, which is called as small, or you can say which is can also be called as smart CPEC. अब चाइना जो है अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट को धीरे धीरे कम कर रहा है. चाइना का अब मेन एम ये है कि स्मॉलर क्विकर रिटर्न हो प्रोजेक्ट का, जिसको चाइना ने नाम दिया है स्मार्ट सीपेक. तो चाइना की यहां पर डिपेंडेंसी काफी ज्यादा है स्ट्रेट ऑफ मलाक्का पे. चाइना इसी के थ्रू ऑयल मंगवाता है. बट दिस इन दिस एरिया यूएस इज ऑल्सो डोमिनेटिंग, इंडिया इज ऑल्सो देयर. That is why to reduce the dependency on this area, Strait of Malacca, that is why China built this corridor, that is CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Now, what are the struggles for Pakistan here? So let's try to understand why Pakistan is struggling now. Now, Pakistan is facing multiple challenges. Now, first of all, like economic crisis and a failing economy. Second, there are other challenges like rising terrorism from both separatist as well as extremist group. अब हर तरफ से terrorism rise कर रहा है पाकिस्तान में. Apart from this, political instability is also there with frequent leadership changes and military involvement, or you can say military dominance is there in decision making also. So that is why Pakistan accuse India of supporting Balochistan rebels to divert the attention from its internal issues. इसीलिए पाकिस्तान इंडिया पर एलिगेशन लगा रहा है that India is supporting Balochistan insurgency. तो ये कहना है किसका? पाकिस्तान का. Now, what is the global perspective here? So, other countries like Sri Lanka, which have faced already a similar debt problem with China's BRI project, because China has spent around $240 billion to bail out 22 countries and has written off $78 billion in debt since 2020. अब पाकिस्तान ने इससे भी कुछ नहीं सीखा. That is why United States of America has criticized the Belt and Road Initiative project, and US called BRI as a debt and news agreement. That this project is not successful. This is not a good initiative by China. So overall, if you see that the CPEC was supposed to be Pakistan's economic lifeline, instead it has depended debt, it worsened the security and also increase the public anger. Now, that is why the Balochistan's ongoing attack and China's reduced investment shows that both Pakistan and China, they are facing these setbacks. So the future of CPEC remains uncertain as Pakistan continues to struggle with internal stability. So overall, if you see these things, so the China-Pakistan economic corridor was supposed to be the symbol of development and a cooperation, or you can say it should be the shining example of China's global vision. But in reality, it has become a cautionary tale. Pakistan is struggling under the weight of $24.7 billion in Chinese debt. And now Pakistan find itself that Pakistan is trapped. So Balochistan, rather than prospering from the so-called crown jewel that is CPEC, remains a battleground because it's people fighting for what they seize, the stolen wealth. So, and apart from this, and China, it faces a stark dilemma because with 10,000 Chinese security personnel who are deployed and billions of dollars are at stake. So, Beijing's investment are at risk in this CPEC, that is especially Balochistan region. Yet, the rebellion rages on. So separatist groups like Balochistan Liberation Army, they are determined to ensure that Gwadar, the port, which is built by China, to dominate in Arabian Sea, never becomes the thriving hub it was meant to be. But the failure of CPEC is not just a Pakistan-China problem. Countries from Sri Lanka to Africa are now questioning whether China's promise of prosperity is worth the price of sovereignty. And tensions rise also there, and the debt trap also tightens. So the world is watching. So what is next for Pakistan? Will the Baloch insurgency grow stronger, or will China cut its losses and abandon CPEC? Or will a new geopolitical twist change the course of history here? One thing is for sure, that the world's most ambitious corridor is now at a dangerous crossroad. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And let us know your thoughts in the comment section. That is China Belt and Road Initiative a global game changer or a geopolitical gamble? So stay tuned for more deep dives into the stories that shapes our world. Thank you so much.